Hello, my name's Helen. I'm going to take you through a Yin Yoga. Yin, if you've never done it before, is instead of kind of flowing and moving and holding strict positions, we just hold positions. Today, I would say you do need a yoga block. If you haven't got something like a yoga block, you can also just have loads of pillows or cushions that you could use instead. In fact, I would generally say having pillows and cushions around can be really nice for extra support if and where needed. If you have a yoga mat, great. If you don't worry about it. We're going to start just by sitting, and I do recommend if you've got pillows, cushions, or your block, sit on it. And you can sit any way that's comfortable. You can sit cross-legged with your legs in front. Maybe take a breath in through your nose and sigh your breath out. Just take a few moments of stillness to breathe anything that's been going on before you press play, just kind of putting pause on it for now. Noticing if you notice any little micro changes in your body each time you breathe out. You might even like to close down your eyes. So Yin Yoga is about holding various positions, aiming to find stillness and quiet. Each time we get into a position, it's better to take your time. Start where it feels slightly easier and progressively and possibly getting deeper into a pose, not by being active, but just allowing gravity to take you deeper, or sometimes in some of these there's a different prop position you might be able to use. And each time we get into any pose, you want to first find that point where you feel it's not uncomfortable, but it's also not super comfortable. It's just right on the edge in the balance. So first you make sure you've got that position, and once you're there, you just start breathing. And every time you breathe in, just pay attention to a different body part, so that when you exhale, you can see if you can soften and relax there a little bit. You may not be able to, so you don't have to keep holding. You can move to a different part, see where you can let go. But we tend to naturally hold on to tension within the body, so it's just attempting to see how much release we can get. Yin being so good, not just for improving flexibility, but also for helping calm the nervous system. So take a few more breaths here and notice how you feel already, having just had a couple of minutes of stopping and just breathing. Next time you breathe in, just slowly take the block or pillows out from beneath you and make our way to lie on our backs. Now, we're never in any rush in the transitions. Well, everything is really kind of slow motion. You can take your time. So we're rolling your way down. And then push your feet into the floor to lift the hips up. We're going to slide the block or pillows underneath the hips. So it supports roughly where the tailbone is, and then just relax back down. Your arm position, you can rest your hands on your stomach. You can move them away from your body, or maybe even cup your elbows over your head to help stretch your chest at the same time. Now, this is the first option. So if you feel this is very gentle, super relaxing, you've got the option to either start to slide your legs away. They don't have to go all the way straight. Or if you've got the block rather than the pillows, you've got the option to move the block, adjust it into a higher level. So pushing into your feet to lift your hips up again And then rest it again roughly around where the tailbone is. Make sure you're not in any pain. And again, depending on your flexibility, you might then be able to move your legs away. You also have the option to go fully kind of lengthwise with the blocks. So lifting the hips up higher, resting again. And you can just keep supported with the feet on the floor or the legs moving away. Please make sure you're in no pain or discomfort. And remember, we're holding for quite some time. So you've got time to get really comfortable. And then to get deeper as gravity kind of takes you heavier onto the block, as you relax a little bit more. You've got time to move up to a higher block if you should get there. You don't have to do it right in the first minute. Once you've found you in that position, remember that's where you just breathe. Ideally, if it's comfortable to, it's in and out through the nose. If you struggle breathing through the nose, breathe as comfortable. And then remembering when you breathe in, to just pay attention to one body part. So maybe it's your forehead. And as you exhale, thinking of softening there. And keep that with all the kind of expressions in your face. Notice if you're frowning, clenching your eyes, clenching your jaws, and looking where you can soften, relax, and let go. And then just keeping that process going, trying to relax shoulders away from ears. So you're softening around your joints, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. And even as you breathe and your rib cage expands, you can pay attention to the muscles between the ribs, thinking of softening there. Continuously scanning the body, continuously attempting to soften as you exhale. Softening around the hips, which are being really opened in this position. Trying to relax the muscles that support your knees, so around your thighs and the lower leg. Right the way down to the ankles and the toes. In the final minute, if you did feel you were wanting to move a bit higher, but also you can come out of any position earlier as well, or you can pull back a little bit. If you get to the point where you're just thinking it's uncomfortable, maybe borderline painful, struggling to breathe slowly and calmly, you can pull back and come out earlier and just lie down. The next time you breathe in, if your legs are extended, just walk your feet back in again so that you can push into the feet to lift and remove the block or pillows, lower yourself back down to the ground. And just hug your knees in, give your knees a little bit of a squeeze. There's always a little bit of time to pause between each pose, so you have time to feel any changes in the body. Sometimes we feel almost like a rush of blood to an area if it's been restricted. Sometimes we feel it warmer, cooler. Kind of restack, just notice any sensations. And then when you're ready, roll yourself over onto one side. And then gradually push your way up until you're sitting. So again, you may want the option to sit with the block behind you, or you may want to have it in front. You're going to sit down with the left leg in close and the right foot on the floor in front, cross-legged. If that's already too much, you can just move your legs a little bit further away. You can also use pillows or anything to help support, or if you have more than one block, to support your knees if you struggle with your hip opening here. If you feel you do want a little bit more, you can lift up your foot, your right foot rest on your calf or maybe even your thigh, but don't go to a point again of pain. Just adjust your weight so it's evenly down. And then often in yoga vinyasa, we'll be trying to support our spine here. In yin, we're aiming to relax as much as possible. So tuck your chin in and then round your back. So just don't try and support yourself with good posture. Good in quotation marks. And then it's up to you. Stay upright. You might want to just use your hands to support you. You may be able to start folding forwards. You may be able to lie flat. This is where you may want your block to rest and maybe make fists with your hands just to support your head. And potentially over time, you can remove one hand, the other hand, and you may be able to just let the upper body dangle. This is going to help with opening hips, releasing to the back of the hips, the lower back, and it comes all the way up to the back of the neck, into the head. Now, some people and I really commonly feel quite a big pulling sensation in my neck when I just let it droop heavy. So if you're feeling that where it's like getting uncomfortable, again, just slightly support your head with your hands. And the more I practice yin and I get in this position, that it just eases off and goes. It's one of those things that I thought would never go, and probably after 2 or 3 times practicing, it went. So we found our position, we're breathing slowly, we're thinking about where we can relax. And really commonly when we go into any kind of thing that opens hips, it's very well connected with our jaw. So you might notice you start clenching the jaw more. So again, thinking about softening. We also have a tendency to tense up in similar places all the time. It's where our body tends to hold more tension, kind of naturally and unconsciously. So the more you practice, the more you might be aware of areas that you need to maybe spend a bit more focus on to try and relax, soften, let go. Sometimes the more we focus on an area, in fact, it makes it harder to let go. So if you find that ever happening, move your attention away to somewhere else completely. That's why I'd always say don't hold on to your focus on one place for ages. You can think about somewhere else, like your fingers, relaxing through your shoulders, and then potentially wherever else you were holding on to might start to ease off and let go. And as you breathe and hold, you might notice you're able to fold a little bit further. Again, not by forcing it, just by your breath and gravity taking you there. But if it ever takes you too far, remember to pull back. We will never get the benefit if we go into a point of pain. Just taking a few more breaths here. Next time you breathe in, start to come on up, unravel your legs. Bring your hands behind and just allow your knees to gently drop from side to side. It's been quite a long time as well with the knees in a bent position, so you might want to straighten the legs, maybe even bend and straighten, alternating, because we will need to go to the other side to even out. So yeah, if we're holding, gently moving. And then gradually making our way to the other side. So this time it will be the right leg in close and the left foot can either be resting on the floor, or you can pick it up higher onto the calf, or maybe higher onto the thigh. And again, it might be that you get part way, you've started on the floor, then you move closer and move higher and higher. That's the aim, is that we progress gradually into it rather than force ourselves into too uncomfortable position right away. Just adjust your sit bones. And then instead of holding yourself up and supporting your frame, soften, melt. Tuck your chin, relax your shoulders. Some people, especially if we're tight here, there's absolutely no way you'd be able to fold forward. And so don't. Just stay more upright, maybe even with the hands behind, just to help support you a little bit. It doesn't need to look pretty. So you see how I'm hunched? So I'm not using my back muscles to hold myself up. I'm just relaxing and letting go. And then again, possibly you're able to fold a little bit, just allowing your body to tip forward, maybe finding support on the floor, on your block. Letting the head relax, tucking the chin. And again, finding support with your head if needed, if you're finding that pain or discomfort, pulling sensation in the neck. However, if you feel comfortable to just let the head hang in space, then I would say go with that instead of finding support as well. So you just, again, it really helps with gravity, helping to lengthen and just gradually pull on the neck, the back, and it's helping to really stretch and lengthen our fascia, the connective tissue that connects everything together in the body. So assuming there's no pain, you don't necessarily have to find support. And when we've done one side into another side, start to notice any differences as well. It's very common for one side to feel easier or harder than the other because we are not symmetrical how we move. We have dominant sides, so therefore stronger sides. So you'll probably notice little differences. And so don't try and match the shape that you had on the other side, but try and match that feel, that finding the point where it's just not totally comfortable, but also not uncomfortable. Making sure you can breathe, scan. Yin Yoga is also working with quiet and silence, which is why you'll hopefully start to notice, so talk a little bit less. 'Cause now you know what you're doing. 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 Now you know what you're You don't have to worry that the video is cut out. Just aiming to have moments with no sound from me at all. And the next time you breathe in, we slowly start to make your way up again. Once again, releasing the legs, hands behind, maybe rocking the knees side to side. Maybe playing again with straightening the legs, alternating or just holding the legs out. One final pose before our resting posture. Just open your legs out wide. You might need to have bent legs if you're quite tight in the hamstrings or inner thighs and hips. You might be able to have straight legs. Want to be able to just pick up the hips and scooch the hips slightly backwards again. And then again, this might be plenty for you. And then all you need to do is tuck your chin, round your shoulders, and allow the back to slump a little bit. So we're not supporting ourselves. Alternatively, you might find your upper body can start to shift forwards. Yeah, some people eventually might find themselves lying flat on the ground. And again, if you're like me and you're not there, this is where you might want to have blocks or pillows to stack up. And again, if you need your hands to make it a little bit higher to help support your head or your arms. Finding that point that you get to, progressively just holding, breathing, seeing where you let go. In this one, I commonly find myself tensing my thighs a little bit or pressing my feet a little bit into the ground. It's just trying to soften. And I just also will quickly say, by the way, some people, if you really struggle with this and you've got your knees bent, you may also, again, like just have your hands behind to support you. Let's take about 3 more breaths. As slowly and calmly as you can. And then after the third, when you breathe in, start to push your way up again. Bend your knees, close your knees. We're going to finish in Shavasana. Traditionally, it's lying down on your back. If you'd be more comfortable sitting, you can stay sitting. If you're more comfortable lying on your side or your front, you can do that as well. Make your way down, give your knees just a little squeeze. And then when you're ready, gently rest your feet to the floor. If you do tend to get a lower back pain, you might want to keep feet to the floor, relax the knees in. If not, maybe legs up long, or again, any other position. So resting posture, so whatever feels most comfortable for you. So I'm more likely to be able to relax. The aim is stillness, so feel free at the start to move a little bit, get any fidgets out of the way, any stretching you might want to do. Choose your arm position. Arms can rest on your stomach or on the floor, maybe palms up or overhead. If you haven't naturally closed your eyes, you might like to close your eyes. Now just let your breathing do whatever comes naturally. Taking just a few more minutes for yourself. With everything on pause, not needing to stretch, work out, think about breathing. Not being stimulated by too much, just being. And you can stay in Shavasana for much longer if you'd like. But if not, next time you breathe in, slightly move your fingers, wiggle your fingers and toes. And then when you breathe out, let's draw your knees in, hug your knees in towards your body. Roll your knees over onto the left hand side. Pause for a moment. You're never in any rush. When you feel ready to, your next in breath a little deeper. You push yourself up to sitting. And I always recommend pausing just for one final breath. In and out any way you like, just to see again how you feel. And when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Thank you so much.